Hello, everybody. Nobody. Anyone else? It's been a long time since I've made a video for an annoying reason. I recorded a track which is about 5 minutes long, maybe almost 6 minutes long, and it takes up a lot of memory on my phone. My phone doesn't have a lot of memory, and when I use a lot of it, a lot of the space, then things on my phone don't work. So I've been wanting to keep that video on my phone and not really had room to make other videos, I didn't think. But anyway, so this is the first video in a long time. Uncle Henry in Kansas and the Emerald City Gate Guard in Oz are going rather well. I put makeup on for the first time in a year. I hate makeup, but you know, stage makeup is probably necessary. It bothers me that I, don't just do it instead of complaining in my head or complaining in real life. It's like, if you have to do it, you do it. Why talk about it? Why think about it? Why mention it? But my eyebrows are a little darker. I think it's still residual. I'm not sure. I don't know. So I had conjunctivitis for the first time. It wasn't nearly as bad as it sounds. What a terrible sounding name. When green stuff was coming out my eye, yellowish, greenish stuff coming out my eye, that seemed like it could be a problem. Seemed like it could be a real problem, but I just carried on and finished the show, even though it was just a rehearsal. And went to the emergency clinic. Delray Medical Center in Lantana has an emergency room, and they said it's just like the emergency room of a hospital, and they should know since Delray Medical Center is a hospital. So I guess they have a hospital in Delray, and then that includes an emergency room, and then I guess they've got this emergency room up here in Lantana. So they were open. MD Now wasn't open, so I went to that emergency room. Sure was expensive, but it certainly seemed like they knew what they were talking about, and it certainly seemed like they cared. 3 out of the 4 people, or was it 4 out of the 5 people, seemed like they cared. Boy, it was expensive. But you know, eyes are pretty important. You only got 2 of them. Someday I'll look back on this and I'll say, oh yeah, that's the time I had conjunctivitis. Or else I'll look back on it and say, oh yeah, that's the first time I've had this thing that's plagued me for years. But I think it might just be a one-time thing. I don't know. So let's see. Uncle Henry and the Guard. The choreography for Merry Land of Oz, my solo, is just awesome, and the choreographer was smart enough to not give me any choreography since I can't remember it. So I can basically just go on stage and act the monkey, and as long as I sound good and keep moving, it's gonna be a showstopper. The real difficult show-stopping piece is the jitterbug, which I've been fascinated with ever since I found out that the jitterbug was filmed but not included in the Wizard of Oz movie. I really like how Emily R. Dorothy sings it, and I really like how our Scarecrow Ryan is interpreting his dance in it, and how Emily is doing her dance in it, looking like she's being made to dance as opposed to just getting all the steps right. It's a really interesting concept. The Wicked Witch of the West says to her Captain Nico Wyatt, who I've been in 2 shows with now, what spell shall I send? Shall I send the Flibbertigibbet? And I don't know what a Flibbertigibbet is, but it's, it's one of the words from Sound of Music. How do you solve a problem like Maria? And no, I won't send the Flibbertigibbet. Shall I send the Fly-by-Night? No, I'll send the Jitterbug. And the whole premise is that these bugs make you dance until you fall down exhausted. And boy, our dancers are giving it all. They are falling down exhausted. And it's not like it's the end of the show. So it's, you know, they've still got a lot of performing left after they've given it their all on the stage. So it's going to be a good show. It'd be nice if at this point, since it opens in 5 days, if one set was painted, one set piece was painted, one thing looks nice, but I don't know. If they do actually paint them, you know, our performances will just be better to finally see them painted. I don't know why they're taking their time, but whatever. I realize I should be an actor, not planning all those things. So I'm just trying to do what the director says. I find one of the problems is common with me as an actor and me as an employee, which are of course similar, in that people think that I'm vehement when I'm just throwing out an idea, and people aren't comfortable giving me direction. I think. I don't know. I did a whole play, a pretty big part, and I never knew, the director like told me nothing, and I never knew if she hated everything I did or loved everything I did, or more than likely some of it was some of each. But she never talked to me, and I found that odd. This one, it's like, I don't know. It's just an issue. I think it's you know, maybe at my age, people don't think they should be able to tell me what to do, but they know they have to, something like that. Anyway, take care. Maybe I'll be able to make some more videos. We'll see.